Good morning. This morning, we're going to be talking about why life is like a game. 8 reasons why life resembles a game. And additionally, I have a really cool, to make it a little more like a game, a free coaching exercise where we're going to dive in and you guys are going to be able to share. Let me share my screen real quick before we kick this on. I just have a cool template and a framework that you guys can use to help gamify your own lives and get the absolute most out of it and make it a little more fun. Good morning and enjoy the show. Financially free and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch. So a little one-person trampoline, very I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So pretty cool that good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Tanner Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercise to help make you the absolute best version of yourself, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. Like I was jumping into a little bit, it's cool how games as children really help build a lot of the frameworks and how it doesn't really change too much as we get older, as we evolve. It's like everyone's still a little kid, just with these big grown-up bodies. And I'm sure you can think of a number of things. I can think it perfectly just very recently in a situation I didn't handle myself a little bit. I was acting a little bit childish, and it's like, oh, well, So I think we all do it, and having some grace and some gratitude for ourselves. But I think if we can measure and manage a little bit, then we can get better at the game and we can improve the rewards and all these other great things that come along with it. So let's jump on the board and kind of go over what we're going to go over this morning. So I'm going to really write out these 8 reasons. So life is a game. And additionally, we want to, as you can see the banner up on the board, we're going to go over these 8 reasons. And then additionally, our objective today is I'm going to do this free coaching exercise. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in this morning. I'm going to give away this free coaching exercise. To really just help with the management and make it a little more fun. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. So we want to get that exercise in. So we can just manage a little bit better. And we can't manage what we don't measure, right? We hear this all the time. You're like, Tanner, I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the time to play these games. It's like, what do you have time for then? That's where we're going to be fishing out, because the people who say, I can't manage this, I can't manage that, I can't manage that, it's probably because we're wasting a lot of our time doing things that are not helping us get where we want to go. So we want to cut the bull crap out. We want to add these types of fun games and systems to help become the best version of ourselves. And that's why we're going over that exercise later. So stick with me. We're going to get through these 8 reasons, and then we'll get to the game here shortly. So 8 reasons why life resembles a game. First reason is goals and objectives. When we do not have goals, when we do not have objectives, we feel like we don't have a purpose. We feel like we don't have a direction. We feel very lost. I think all of us, including myself, come to a point where it's like, holy crap, I'm not really sure what I want to do. And that makes the game pretty dismal. I think when we all have our own game that we're playing and having the goals and the objectives, that's why I want to start with this one first, makes it super important. What is the objective? What is the number one goal? So if we're going over anything this morning, maybe you want to just write out your number one goal. You write out that number one goal on a piece of paper, and how can I get one step closer in this game of life to my number one goal? So goals and objectives. Goals resemble in games all the time. No different within life. We got to have goals and objectives. Next up is challenges and obstacles. Challenges and obstacles. They always write in there in the rules, which we'll get to the importance of rules here in a minute, but they have in the rule sets of games to make it a little bit harder, to make it a little bit more of a challenge. And we all talk. So you read these in this personal development books. I know I love personal development books. I hope you do as well. And they talk about how challenges and obstacles make life worth living. They make life worth living. But whenever we get in the moment of them, I can think of a moment I was referring to earlier. It's like, man, I didn't handle that super well. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And I don't believe that we want it to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. Or else if it was too easy, then we would get bored. We got to have challenges. We got to have obstacles. Challenges and obstacles are what help us grow. But anyone can say this, right? But the real challenge of challenges comes in when we're in the moment of them. How much are you letting it consume your headspace? If someone says something to you that triggers you, are you reacting? How are you reacting? How long is it lingering in your head? Is it reducing and eliminating your ability to focus on your goals and objectives? What we just got done talking about. So we can acknowledge that in games, just like in life, challenges and obstacles are really important and make it worthwhile. But the hard part is handling when you're actually in the moment, right? When shit's actually turned around. Okay, next up is decision making. To win a game, to win at the game of life, and also in these board games, we have to be able to make decisions. We have to be able to make a decision. One of the roots of human suffering, this is based off of some Eastern philosophy stuff I was just reading in this really cool book I like. It's called, Ken Wilber's a great writer, but a brief history about everything. And he talks about how a huge part of human suffering comes from our ability to choose, our ability to make decisions. That's a huge part of our suffering. But it's also a huge part of our opportunities, of a real chance to reach something close to enlightenment. Enlightenment for me, and I'm sure it's different for everyone, right, is to really enjoy my life as much as possible. And decision making is going to be an anchor point in this. So we need to be able to make better decisions more often to win the game. If we want to win the game, we got to make good decisions, right? Shout out to the game of life. Always really like that game. Pretty fun. But decision making, got to be able to make decisions. Next up is rules and constraints. It's not a free-for-all all the time. Not a free-for-all all the time. There's got to be some rules. And this one's, I'm trying to continue. I was doing some writing. I was doing some reading earlier this morning, trying to figure out how the hell I wanted to say this. But like, we do need rules, but we also, like, humans don't react very well to rules. Like, you have to do this and you have to do that. No, but how you say it, but without structure and laws and regulations, it would be too chaotic and things wouldn't push along. So rules are actually really good in a lot of ways. And I think how we interpret them, and I think having the mindset of life is happening for me and not to me has allowed me to accept the rules that are within my life. I cannot fly. I cannot fly in the sky. I have to pay Southwest Airlines to travel the country and do what I want. There are certain constraints. I cannot go into somebody's house and just steal their crap. That is against the law. But so these restrict me, and I have to work more in order to get the stuff, to get the plane rides, and that's challenges and obstacles. But I also argue that it makes life worth living. If you could just do whatever you wanted all the time, it wouldn't feel so good to do what you were doing. So the rules and constraints are really good. I think rules get a lot of pushback just from when you hear that word, right? Rules. I don't want rules, man. It's like, no, you actually do, because it allows you to just narrow your focus and make a decision on what it is you want to do that's allowed within the rules of the game. I think there's rules actually, I'm trying to figure out how to word this as well. Rules create creativity. Because if there was just lawlessness all the time and there was no structure or no framework to help narrow my focus, how could I even get any type of thought out? How could I write anything down, So I think rules and constraints are really good in a lot of ways. Next up, how the games are just like life, is learning and improvement. If you want to get good at anything, what do we have to do? It all the time. No one is good at anything we don't do all the time. So learning and improvement comes from these games, and I'm very grateful for them. So we can play the games, we can play them more often, we can play them more strategically, we can understand the rules, we can understand how the game is played, and I think we can improve our position. No different for day-to-day life. If you want to get better, you got to learn, you got to take action, and that's okay. That's part of it. Makes it fun. Next up is competition and cooperation. There's something about competition that humans do really well with. It can cause some intensity, but with anything right, with the wrong lens, how the perspective, if it's out of alignment with who we are, competition's great. It wouldn't feel so good if we didn't have other people to play with. If you played this game of life by yourself and you just won by a landslide every time, like, oh, I made the most money. It's like, it only felt good because there was competition there. There was people you're playing with. That's what makes winning and rewarding systems so validating, is competition is a part of life. And cooperation. So not seeing as these, sometimes people have the motivation, the dark energy motivation of like, oh, they're my enemies, they're against me. It's like, I'm more of along the lines of like, we're all in this together, and it's okay to have competition. It's okay to be working on what you're working and not feel threatened, or my self-worth is not tied to other coaches in this industry. Just because another coach is, I met a couple coaches in the last couple months that make egregious amounts of money, and I do not. And it's like, I'm not going to hold judgment or animosity towards them. First of all, they're like both in their 50s and 60s. So they're a lot older than I am. They've been doing it for like 30 years. Makes sense, right? Cooperation. So I can see them as competition, but it doesn't have to be something nasty or something bad. I can say, oh, I can learn a lot from them. I can cooperate with them. We're all in this together. And I think that ties into games. When you're playing your competition, who likes the kid this was me when I was little. I hated losing. It's like, man, you're making it hard to play with. Nobody wants to play with you if you're a total butthole all the time. So I think it resembles the game of life that people are going to want to help you, and you'll continue to get better if we're putting it in the work, and we're excited about competition and being able to play with other people, but we're able to cooperate and we're not hostile or, being a little a-hole like we were referring to. Okay, next up is uncertainty and chance. Life is full of risk. Whether you get in the car today and you're driving to work, you're listening to this, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this, or whether you're eating foods, whatever you do, life has risk. Your investments, your career, your relationships, your health, everything has risk. And there's a level of uncertainty embedded in that, but that's also what makes life fun. So within the game, you're not sure what's going to happen. Within life, you're not sure what's going to happen. And this level of uncertainty is a basic human need that Tony Robbins always refers to. Shout out to the GOAT. So game of life, regular life, right? Uncertainty and chance, it's part of it. We're not going to know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're not going to know what's going to happen the next day. We're not going to know what's going to happen the day after that. All we can do is try and control the process and the actions today to try and set ourselves up in a better way. Because I don't want to know the future anyway. Everyone claims that they want to know the future. It's like, no, you don't. On a very literal level, right? I'm a bit of a literal person, so take that with a grain of salt. But I don't want to know the future. And I don't believe you do either. And that's part of another reason why it makes life fun. Our last but not least reason why. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning us. We went over 8 reasons why life resembles a game. And the last one is rewards and consequences. If you screw up and do something that breaks the rules and constraints of life, there will be consequences. If you overcome challenges, take massive action towards your goals, you will be rewarded. Go figure. If you want a healthy, lean looking body, you want a six pack, you want to be able to run 5 miles, whatever it is. If you eat the good foods, work out, stretch, get good sleep, and get a coach, someone teach you and help you learn and improve, chances are you're probably going to be rewarded. You're going to be able to walk around. You can walk your dog. You can move around the house. You can help your family members move or whatever. You can probably function in life and feel better. You don't get tired as quickly. And being tired is, I think, a whole form of suffering. There's something about energy that we really need, and we need to be rewarded. So, and that's one of the greatest rewards of exercise, if not the reward of exercise. Don't get me wrong, getting muscles and all that stuff's cool, but feeling energized allows you to be present and work on stuff you actually give a shit about. So rewards are fantastic, but also consequences. Either or, which one are you going to get? All right, rewards and consequences. So those were the 8 reasons why life is like a game. All right, let's get into the free coaching point system exercise. I made this as simple as absolutely possible. So I'm going to kick myself down over to the screen. So let's kind of zoom in a little bit. Can we zoom in? We do this. Okay. I want to make sure that you guys can see this. Okay. So this is 8 reasons why life resembles a game. This is a little game that we're going to be playing. So we're doing a coaching point system exercise for episode 364. And what we're going to do is we're just writing out activities. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in the show. You just in time for our little game. So whether you're on a piece of paper, you want to create one of these simple tables on your computer, whatever it is you want to do, draw a line down the middle, down the gut, and then have a little tab at the top. And then we're gonna recognize what activities get us closer to our goals in the life that we want to live. And then this is under scoring activities and reduction activities. So scoring activities would be +1. Reduction activities would be -1. So something to add real quick. The universe doesn't give a crap about our goals. The universe doesn't care about us losing the weight. It's even our friends and family, our closest people. They can't lose the weight for us. They can't make the sales calls for us. They can't do anything for us. Really, at the end of the day, it's up to us. So that's why we need to track this for ourselves. Let's go ahead and start writing out some scoring activities. What would get you a +1? And then as we're writing out the activities, we want to keep in mind, I like to do this. So once you score 100 points, you get to do something cool and fun. I'm going to pull up. I went to this fun event here recently. Trying to get my messages open real quick. I need to close this. Good morning, everyone. I need to add this. There it is. All right. So this was how I scored on mine. This was me and my girlfriend. We did this beers and gears thing. And yes, we did just that. We drank some beers and we rode some bikes. We did a little bar hopping. It was really fun. We had a good time. But we only do this kind of stuff after I had a really good week. I totally dominated work last week. I got a ton of tutorial videos done. My first book's getting so close to getting done. Really excited about it. Made a lot of progress. And I'm not totally okay with giving up alcohol for the rest of my life. I'm going to do it every now and again, but I want it to be meaningful. And so we do these every now. We try to have fun events and do something like that. And shout out to one of my best friends, his mom's Caleb, for setting up Beers and Gears. That's really cool. And really glad we got to participate. But these are we want to do some type of events. Maybe you want to go to a concert. Maybe you want to, let's go ahead. We're going to make this big again. Maybe you want to go after you score your 100 points. Maybe you want to, what could we do? Get a massage. We could go out to eat somewhere nice. Maybe you want to get a steak dinner or something like that. How can after you score these 100 points, how can you reward yourself? Massage, go out to eat somewhere, national park. Maybe we go on a vacation. What do you want to do? So how can you reward yourself? I was just talking about beers and gears. It's just like some type of event in general. Maybe you want to go to a concert. So go ahead and try and think of things as you score your 100 points. That's what we're aiming for. And it might take you a couple weeks. That's okay, because we're going to have to work at this sucker a little bit before we just run off and go do this and that. And I think it makes it really rewarding. So what are activities, scoring activities for me? So working out is +1. Meditation is +1 for me. Reading 10 pages. That's +1 for me. Making 25 sales calls, messages. That's +1 for me. Morning show. So doing this morning show with you lovely people, I'm scoring points, baby. We're trying to gain attention online, create online content. So the morning show is my waterfall content system. I have more on that in my one-page life plan class. If you want to take a class with me, shout out to that. But this is a morning show. That's a +1 for me. So I write a blog posts, and these are about 1,500 words. That's a +1 for me. So you get the idea of the things that we get to do that are scoring activities. So scoring activities usually are pretty easy to recognize. And this is even a phone call with my brother. Massage my girlfriend. Just connection, love, some type of activity with my girlfriend is scoring. Phone call with my brother, connecting with my loved ones. This is scoring in my life. This is life. This isn't just, I know a lot of these that I did are like very career based for me, because I teach meditation and I'm writing a morning show, yada, yada. But this also, I wanted to put some examples of down there that extends for your life. And you can make these as long as you want. You can have as many activities as you want. Doesn't matter, completely up to you, but really fun. Okay, next is reduction activities. So yes, can we score in life? Yes. Can we also screw up in life? Yes. And the universe, what? Doesn't give a crap. So if we are results based, if we really want to achieve our goals, I think we not only have to manage and measure the good things that we do, but also the bad things that we do. Because life is a funny way of, when you're doing these reduction activities, you're probably not doing these scoring activities. So again, we always want to recognize our number one goal. Are we getting closer or farther away? That is the question to be asking this morning. So reduction activities for me, that would be watching television. So, bad communication. So say if I'm talking with my girlfriend and I'm handling it poorly, I'm not saying that, I'm not listening, my tone's bad, I'm arguing or something like that. That's a -1. That's a situation poorly handled. So you can think of in your own life, okay, if I'm doing this, if I'm coming off on somebody, or I'm being mean, or I'm not handling this well, that's bad communication. That's a -1 in my department. That's not helping me skyrocket my health, wealth, and relationships to live life at its highest point in quality. So bad communication on that front. We want to be really careful. What are some other reduction activities? I would say drinking alcohol. I would say smoking pot. I smoke weed on occasion, sometimes on the weekend. Sometimes I take breaks from it. I'm not super into it, but every now and again I do like it. But that, I am telling you, I am not reading when I am smoking pot, me personally. My brain just doesn't work, and I'm relaxed. I want to eat something and want to watch television. So that's usually 2 for 1. And before we keep rocking and rolling, for these reduction activities, don't view these as like the immortal sins that you can never do again. I was just talking about one of my favorite things. The things I got to do was drinking beer. I enjoy doing that every now and again. So it's okay to do these things every now and again, but understand that they do diminish your health, that they do take your time and your ability to do these scoring activities, and not be emotional about it versus just like being more logical about it, where we can just see it's like, okay, I can make time for these, but I got to really make sure that I'm getting these scoring activities in. I'm never going to go with my entire life without watching TV again. There's some cool shows that come on that I'll probably want to watch, and that's okay. But to get where I want to go, I understand that I need to do this writing and meditation and like this hard work stuff. So a balancing act, right? I'm trying to knock out like 5, 6 of these for every one of these so I can get my rewards in and score my 100 points and do something fun like this. Okay, remember, because this could be even, this doesn't have to be 100 points. Say if you've had a really rough go late. I've had clients that have done this exercise with where we just did 25 points. We're like, let's have a good week and let's reward yourself. I've been doing this for a little bit longer, so mine's a little bit higher, and I have some big projects I really want to get done for work, so I made my point threshold a little bit higher. But this can be 39, 100. Don't care. The numbers are irrelevant. It's really the principle of just doing more scoring activities and less reduction activities. So what are some more reduction activities? I would say eating junk food. That stuff makes me feel like crap, makes me look like crap, and really hinders my ability to do these things. Sleeping in. I love getting my sleep. You can ask my girlfriend. I probably sleep like 9 full hours a night. That's what works for me. Everyone's different, but 9 full hours a night for me. So sleeping in sleeping in is not the end of the world, but just understand that it is setting you back and it's not giving you the right time to do these other things. So we don't have a negative relationship with it. We just acknowledge that if we want to do more, then waking up at 5 a.m. is a scoring activity and sleeping in is a reduction activity. Okay. So we've talked about eating junk food. We talked about sleeping, drinking alcohol, bad communication with someone we love, or we talk about, or we're watching television. Whatever the reduction activity is, the list is probably going to be a little more specific to you. You can think just bad habits. What are bad habits that I am doing that I do not want to do? Or what are things that you enjoy, but you still understand that they're not getting you closer to your goals? If your goal is to blow up a company and make a bunch of money, I'm telling you, watching television ain't going to do it. Or vice versa. If you want to have a really nice body and eating junk food ain't going to get you the nice body. That's just how this works. So if we can just understand that we need to score points more often, and I think it just makes it so much easier to justify and to reward ourselves. If we're rewarding, I want you to think of a situation. So you've had a terrible day. You've had a terrible day at work. You've had a terrible day talking to your partner. You've had a terrible day doing something along those lines, some type of terrible day. And then you go and you do one of these things. You drink beer, you go to a concert, you go on vacation or whatever. People don't enjoy it. You have to earn it. You have to earn it. We want to earn it. This is the secret sauce. These things are not enjoyable unless they're earned. It's like, yeah, you might get a little bit of pleasure out of a massage. It's like, yeah, I had a terrible day, but I got a massage. But I want you to get a massage after you've scored 100 points versus you just go get one because you're having a bad day. You just go get a massage because your tummy hurts from eating a bunch of junk food. So you're trying to comfort yourself that way. You come back and you tell me which one it is. I know I can only speak from personal experience, but I personally, when I'm scoring points, baby, when I'm working on the things that are getting me closer to my life that I want to live and how I want to impact people, how do I want to show the hell up? When I earn my points, I score them and I reward myself. Life feels damn good. Life feels so good when I earn that stuff. And that's why I can only say here and hope that you do the same for yourself. I'm sure you already know this because we talked about challenges and obstacles and how they're just such a natural part of life and how we need them in our lives in order to like get the most out of it. But that was this episode. That's all I got for this one. You guys go ahead. Let me zoom out a little bit so you kind of just see the whole framework real quick. So this was an exercise I made in Google Docs. It literally took me 2 seconds, so you can whip up yourself. Or if you have any questions, you just reach out to me and I can tell you how to set it up or whatever the heck you want. Don't care. I just want you getting better today. More scoring activities, less reduction activities, so we can score these points and then we can reward ourselves in a fun and meaningful way. This was 8 reasons why life resembles a game. And additionally, that was a free coaching exercise I have just for a point system to help manage and understand life at a higher level. But that's all I got for today. And in case you needed to hear it, I love you. You're a badass. You got this. Let's go have a great day. Let's score some points and see how we can improve our position in the game of life. Cheers, friends. I'm out. I got stuff to do today. I'm all riled up this morning. I'm excited for I got some projects that are really getting close to getting done, and we're keep coming. We ain't going nowhere, folks. So, and I'll be live again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with another episode of the Talk Tanner Morning Show. I went over time today, but gosh, we were just having so much fun. I couldn't stop. So I'll catch you on the next one, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if this show brought you any value, if it's improving your life in any way, shape, or form, if it's helping you start your morning right, please share it. Share it with somebody who you think could benefit from it. I'm trying to bring the energy so you have some energy as well. Love all around. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, with episode. Oh my gosh, what is today's episode? 364. My gosh, we're rocking and rolling. And we're ready for episode 365 tomorrow. Have fun today, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Catch you on the next one. Peace.